oh my God, they're so worked up. They're going to go for the touch, and how is she going to respond? And is she going to walk out and leave me with the bill and never talk to me again? Is she going to tell all my friends that I made some awkward move? It's not like that at all. Is there any chance that you're a creepy guy when you go to touch a girl? If there's even a hint of possibility in your head, take a walk with your buddy Barron here through an old castle in Krakow, Poland. And let's talk about not only when is the right time to make that first touch, but more importantly, how to do it. And then lastly, what we can infer and what we can learn about how she's feeling about us at that specific time by making that touch. So the first thing I want to talk about is the way you should be thinking about touching a girl. It's not a big make or break moment. It's not like you're going for a big kiss at the end of the movie and the star works are going up. Nothing of the sort. What you should be thinking about the first touch in terms of is you're expressing yourself in a way that words can't express what you're feeling, number one. And number two, you're almost getting their attention in a little way to be sure that they don't miss what you hear because you're so excited to tell them. So really, it's more of an expression than a move that you make. Now, to start off, I want to tell you, when you first touch a girl, to be sure that you're not perceived as creepy, you want to be sure there's a reason behind it. Now, that does diffuse the sexual charge between the touch when there's a reason behind it, but that's fine. We just want to get her comfortable with our touch and see how she responds to it. So don't worry about the fact that it's not going to be the most sexual kind of touch. That's fine. You just want to introduce this into the communication. So it's almost like, let's use an example. Let's say that she's talking about a trip that she took to Thailand. And she says, oh, on the streets there, they've got absolutely incredible mango and sticky rice dessert. And you say, that was the first time I had sticky rice too. Now, every time I go to a Thai restaurant, I try to order. It's incredible with anything. So you got excited. You were so excited, you wanted to be sure that she heard your comment on it, so you touched her right there. So by thinking of it as a way of expressing yourself at a crescendo of basically something that she says that you want to respond to, you're both expressing your excitement and you're also holding her attention by doing this. Now, one of the reasons you want to be sure to introduce touch fairly early on in the relationship is because it does three things for you. Number one, it keeps you out of the dreaded friend zone and introduces that kind of chemistry and sexual charge in the relationship and the interaction. It shows that let's see if we can get some light on here. It shows, as I walk you down to the dungeon to see the dragon of fire, it shows that you're not afraid to do it, and it introduces masculinity in the interaction. So she knows that you're the kind of man that can make a move. You're not scared to do it. It shows a definite bit of confidence. So what we want to be thinking about in that first touch is, how do we make her as comfortable with it as possible? You see how high these things are? That's incredible. Here, I'll spin it around so you can see where I'm walking. Got a little shot outside there of old Krakow, Poland. But anyway, back to it. So we want to make her as comfortable as possible, because when you first touch her, it is a bit of it's intense. So we want to use all of our other body language to diffuse that pressure to make her as comfortable as possible. So what does that look like? Well, the first thing we want to do is keep a nice distance. Well, first let me tell you how you're going to do it. You're just going to use your hand, and you're going to touch one of two places: her shoulder or the back of her arm. And like I said, it's just going to almost be like you're getting someone's attention, holding it for maybe a second or two. You're going to be sure there's a fair distance between the two of you, because this makes her feel more comfortable for many ways. Number one, she knows she can just slide like an inch back and your hand's off of her. Number two, she knows you're not creepy guy coming in for an uncalibrated hug. So she knows you're not coming in, you've got that distance. Because check this out, how does this feel when I'm talking to you like this versus like this? I've talked about it many times before. When you're to the side and you're not facing them, it's much less intense. Lastly, our eye contact is not going to be looking at them when we make the touch, because once again, that's just way too intense. I've actually seen this done where everything was right except for the dude was looking at her in the eye, just way too much. It creeps her out. She thinks that he's going to be doing something strange. So Distance to the side and eye contact, not looking at her. You're gonna put the hand on the shoulder, make the point. No way, dude, I was down, that was the first time I had sticky rice too, right? You're worked up about it. Then, as soon as the hand comes off, now the pressure's down, it's more chill, it's relaxed. Now you resume that good sub-communication. Now you're looking right back at her in the eye. You're smiling. You can reorient to her a little bit more. But just be sure that we're empathetic in how it feels to have that first touch. Even when you're doing it right, you're doing it smooth, you're doing it at the right time. You want to make it as comfortable for her as possible, so we're taking away all of the other pressures that we can possibly be applying when we first do that. Okay, so how do we know when to make that first move? How do we know when she's comfortable enough that she's not going to say, "What are you doing, bud? Why are you getting fresh? Why are you being weird? Oh, you creepy guy." How do we know when to do it? It's a great question, but here's the problem. There is no sign. She's never going to give you a clear-cut sign. Hey, listen, guy, I'm to the point now where I feel like we have enough rapport that you can go ahead and give me a touch. Or is she going to snuggle up against your shoulder, and at that point, it's the right time? Dude, at that point, you're 3 light years too late. Elon Musk is on the red planet right now saying, "Make your move, man. What are you doing?" So it comes down to the point is, are you comfortable? When are you to the point that you're feeling excited enough in that interaction to feel like you need to express yourself with that? See, when you first start talking to someone, typically, you're not gonna be comfortable enough for your own personal state and energy level to get up to the point where you'd want to be doing that. Here, check this out. Very nice. But the important thing is, once you feel like you're to the point where you can feel that kind of expressiveness, I talk about this more in the Mature Men's Dating Program. If you structure the date, I suggest if you're at the second step, the second location, you should feel like you're at the point right there where you're close enough and you have enough commonalities, you've talked enough to want to do that. So don't think about it as far as time is concerned. Think about it as far as you've talked long enough for both of you to be comfortable enough that you're actually excited about something. So when you first meet someone, you're just kind of feeling them out, and it's kind of hit and miss. There's not real big ebbs and flows in your energy levels and excitement. But once you get to know them a little bit and you get excited and you get some commonalities, at that point, when you feel it, that's when you can make that first move. So let's wrap it up here with the last thing. What can we learn from using touch? Because it's always important to know where you stand in a first date, knowing how to make the next move and knowing how to proceed. So there's 3 ways she can respond to that. Number 1, very positively. She can actually grab your hand or get closer to you when you do that. Number 2, it can be neutral, no reaction whatsoever, no response at all. Number 3, it can be negative, and she could actually pull back maybe a few inches or show some discomfort in her face or something like that. The most important thing to realize, and I see guys do this all the time, is if they get a negative reaction, they just devastated. Their whole body language, their whole energy, everything just completely drops down. And it's bad for 2 reasons. First of all, you don't want that to happen to your energy levels. But number 2, it shows her that you're easily thrown off your game and thrown off kilter. You're not a confident guy. And truly, it doesn't mean very much. All it means is at that point, she wasn't ready. She didn't feel comfortable with you. So all you do, chill out, smile, back off, rap for another 15, 20 minutes, and then do it again. Another high point. You're excited. Talk to them about that. Put the hand out and see how it's received and continue doing it. It's not a huge move where she's going to stop and be like, "Dude, that's the 3rd time you've tried to do that." It's not like that at all. It's a natural part of the way that you communicate. So when you understand these things, it's going to allow you to be nice and smooth, to apply touch at the right time, and be confident in yourself that you are in the top 10% of guys now that knows how to do this. Because most guys just randomly, they build it up in their head and, oh my God, they're so worked up. They're going to go for the touch, and how is she going to respond? And is she going to walk out and leave me with the bill and never talk to me again? Is she going to tell all my friends that I made some awkward move? It's not like that at all. It's a small step in communication. Some people communicate much more with their hands than other people do, and it's completely fine. So get out there, Now know when you can first do it. Feel that excitement. Feel it inside. Know when you're at that point. Do it. Gauge the reaction. Do all the sub-communication. Put it all in your favor to make it nice and easy and smooth on her. As we know, one of the things that charismatic people do so well is make other people feel very calm and comfortable around them, even when they're doing something like this, like going for a kiss or touching them. We got to be sure that we make them feel comfortable. Take that as your responsibility as a man and something in your skill set that you can do. Go out there, give it a shot. Leave me a comment below. Let me know how it treated you, and I'll talk to you next week. Let me ask you, are you truly satisfied and happy with your social skills right now, where you're at? Are you excited to go to social events because you know you can do well and enjoy yourself? Because if you're not, click here to the left and we can talk more about some products that I have that can help you get to where you need to be so you can really enjoy the weekends when they come around and not feel obligated to go to social events, but rather enjoy them knowing that you'll perform well, you'll make friends, and have a good old time. Now, if you're a single guy and you don't feel confident that basically any weekend that you can get a date with your kind, your quality of woman, then you're not taking advantage of all the tools and things that we have at our fingertips nowadays. So you can click here and look at the products that I have to help you get your skills and your abilities and your comfort with women up to where they need to be.